Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Rafaela and I'm back today with another video, and this is actually the last video of the graduate series Reloaded. I am so grateful to every single speaker that came on the channel, gave up some of their time in their busy schedules, etc., to come and really share with everyone their experiences getting into their industries, as well as any useful tips that they have, etc. As I've said from the beginning, honestly, my vision behind the graduate series was really just to have a platform where people can relate to other people. People can understand that sometimes breaking into your industry and your field is not that easy, but if you continue to persist and to prevail, then you will make it. And irrespective of whatever challenge you may be having, you're not alone. There's likely to be someone else that has done that. But I also really am grateful because in my journey getting into my field and with some of the hurdles that I faced, I met a lot of people who were willing to give free advice and free help. And really, that's what the graduate series represents. People who are coming to talk about the experience and also advise people from mistakes or things that they had to learn. But today's video is a very special guest. So this is someone who has been one of the biggest supporters of the graduate series. I am really, really grateful for her. She's been one of the biggest supporters of the channel as well. And honestly, it just warms my heart because even when I didn't know if I wanted to keep going, she's just there cheering me on. But yes, so let's make way. And yes, there may potentially be another graduate series Reloaded part 2 in the future with other speakers. Let's see. But yes, I hope you all enjoy. As always, please be sure to give this video a like. Please be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel for all my future videos, vlogs, etc. And I will see you all in the comment section or in the next video. Bye.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Rafaela and I'm here today with another video. So today we have another wonderful special guest. We have Izabel, the latest bride in town, my boo, my Angolan Congolese princess, now inherited to the Ghanaian tribe. I'm giving you all your accolades, sis. But yeah, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what's an interesting fact about you?
Okay, so my name is Izabel, as Alexia just said, and I am a HR professional. I am at the associate level. And what was the other question? Sorry.
What's an interesting fact about you?
I'm a twin. I'm an identical twin, and I'm married to a twin.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. People somehow are fascinated by that information.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on the channel today.
Thank you.
Also, as you were speaking, so unrelated, but I thought maybe I should pursue a career in MCing because look at all the accolades I gave. Anyways, welcome to the channel. Yeah. So before we get talking, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into these videos. I really, really appreciate it. I've heard from word of mouth, etc. But I would really appreciate if, as much as liking the videos, etc., you could share them. You could leave a comment with like feedback or anything else. I know how like engaging they are. I would so appreciate that. So thank you. But anyways, right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So before we start, I kind of wanted us to kind of like start off a little bit more like in a light-hearted manner. So I'm going to ask you just a couple questions just to loosen the mood.
Yeah.
So what is one song that would describe your work life?
Destiny's Child. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
It's the way you're smiling. That does not say.
No, do you know what? It's because, right, I feel like with HR, you need resilience. And you're surviving throughout the day. And I'm not saying it's not as a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you need resilience to do the role. That's why I would say that.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Well, it's a timely song. So we'll get into that as well, into what aspects of surviving you're referring to.
Yes.
And then I guess my second question would be, what is one food that you're obsessed with at the minute?
Ooh. See, I love grapes.
Yes,
I love grapes. If you want to make me happy, buy me grapes. I can eat grapes from Monday to Sunday. That's what I'm obsessed with. Like, there's grapes in my fridge. There's grapes. Like, I love grapes. Red, green.
I was about to say which one. Do you like the mix pack?
I like the mix. I like the green. I like the seedless. I like the one with seeds. I just love grapes. I'm so obsessed with grapes. So if anyone wants to bless me, please bless me with grapes.
Oh, I love
but honestly,
that.
I love grapes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are you feeling relaxed?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Right. So let's start off with talking about your early career, if that's okay. So I guess my first question would be, so what did you study at university if you did go to uni?
Yeah.
And what inspired you to study that?
Right. So I'm going to take it back a little bit. I'll take it back to college, only because what I studied in university sort of kind of impacted.
Okay. And just for anyone out there who is tuning in internationally, so be it in the US or wherever, college being
so like college is, I don't know what you guys, so you go to college between 16 to 18. So yeah, I guess that's
high school.
I guess you would call it high school.
Yeah. Okay,
so cool. I went to a sixth form, also known as college. I went to a sixth form college, which people from the ages of 16 to 18, and if you're doing a 3-year course, then 19 would attend to. But yeah, I didn't actually think of that. But yeah, people from the States will probably call it
something different.
Yeah, something else. Yeah. So yes, I went to sixth form and college. I was there for 2 years. I done a course in, I done a business management course. I really enjoyed it. And in that course, I covered all aspects of business management. So that is human resources, marketing, finance, accounting and finance. What else? Oh, you put me on the spot there. Just anyway, all rounder. You pretty much cover a lot, even economics, pretty much an all rounder. And I think I actually enjoyed marketing.
Okay.
I enjoyed marketing. I really enjoyed it. So second year of uni came and I wanted to do marketing in university. So in every college, you have a careers advisor who would advise you and give you advice on your career, your path, etc. So I spoke to him. I said, I want to do marketing in university. And he said, oh, I wouldn't advise you to do that. What I would suggest is go into university doing the course that you're doing already. So I was already, of course, doing business management. And I should go into university doing a business management course. And if I enjoy marketing, then I can pursue a career in marketing. However, if I don't, at least I'm not stuck to that degree. Yeah. I have, again, doing a lot of things. I'm doing accounting and finance. I'm doing human resources, marketing, economics, operational management, so many things that we're covering, that if I did enjoy it, I can go down that route. And I said, okay, yeah, fair enough. That does make sense. And I think at that time, just having that sound counsel really helped me and built me to where I am today.
Yeah.
So picked business management, studied business management. I went to Middlesex University. Whoop, whoop. Yep. So studied business management, really enjoyed the course. So what they do is in the first year of university, you do the core modules.
Right.
And then second year of university, you have one optional module. And then in your third year of university, you have 2 optional modules. So in my second year, for some reason, I was already doing HR. That's it. I was already doing HR as one of so I'd done the core modules. And then in my second year, I was already doing HR as one of the modules. So I picked marketing as my optional module. Was good, wasn't great.
Okay.
Could have done better.
Yeah.
However, I was flourishing in HR.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, HR, of course, at that time you're thinking, I want to get a first. I want good grades. So I thought, is marketing really for me? Then I started to look at the career paths for marketing, and it didn't suit me. It didn't fit me well. And I thought, okay, HR might be a thing for me. So for my third year of university, I picked a HR course, the optional HR courses. And I done well. I done really well. I got first.
Oh, well done.
I graduated with a 2-1, but the HR. I remember one of my, not to brag or anything, but HR.
Come on, just
on one of my modules, I got 95%.
Oh wow!
In HR, so that's how good that's how good I was. Like that was really my niche.
Yeah,
I found my niche, and obviously I graduated with 2-1. everything else. I don't know what happened there, but something brought me down. I know what brought me down, but yeah, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, I graduated with a 2-1.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much
Kind of
that's how
inspired you.
yeah, that's inspired me. And then of course after uni, pursued a career in HR. But yeah, that's the history of how I wanted to or gained interest in HR, I'd say.
Okay, and then so I guess my question to you would be, so you were good at HR, and then you went on to do it, but then there's some people who may not be so great at something, but because they're so passionate about it, they will go on to do it. Do you feel like with HR, it was because, as you said, it was your niche and you were like, I'm good, so I'm going to pursue it? Or was it that you actually had that extra love and passion for the field?
So I would say in university, it was all about the grades. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But I think my passion grew as I became older.
Okay.
My passion grew because I'll get into later on how I'd done my CIPD, etc. And that's why my passion didn't grow in uni.
Okay.
Uni was just about the grades and getting the good grades to graduate.
Yeah.
But yeah, my passion grew more
later
on. As I got older and I got deeper into the career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I would say my next question is, what were some challenges that you faced breaking into your industry, and how did you overcome them?
So any HR professional would be familiar with the term CIPD. That is a professional qualification that a lot of employers do look for HR professionals.
Okay.
So in the beginning, a lot of employers, by the way, they do pay for CIPD. So there's level 3, which is a foundation level. Then there's level 5, associate level, which I am. And then there's level 7. So I didn't have to get into level 3 because remember, I'd done a business management degree, and that's equivalent to your level 3. So you can jump straight to level 5.
Right.
So in the beginning, I wanted to get into a company that would pay for my CIPD. And I think that's what delayed me a little bit. But yeah, I think that was when I was applying for roles, a lot of employers were saying, oh, you need a CIPD, you need this qualification, etc., etc. So I was getting a lot of rejects, which it did delay me a little bit. And then that's when I just thought, you know what, I might as well just pay for it and do it myself. So I ended up paying for my level 5 CIPD, and I got the qualification. I'd done it all myself. But some people are, of course, lucky enough to have their employer pay for their qualification, which is quite expensive. You can probably around, I want to say 4,000 or something. That I enrolled in 2018. So probably now is more.
A lot more.
Yeah. So of course, don't quote me on it, but I think at that time, I think I paid around 4,000 in installments, payment plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was one of my main challenges.
Okay.
Not having that qualification. So the degree wasn't even enough.
Yeah.
I had to get that CIPD to be recognized.
Exactly. Which then leads me to my next question. So in terms of this is a big argument, especially in like households of like ethnic minorities predominantly. That's the stereotype, the stigma. But now having gone to university, now having dealt with that challenge breaking into your industry, looking back and also thinking ahead, so with your children, etc., would you recommend going to university? Are you one of the advocate for university and that education, further education, or would you say you would recommend getting into your field through like apprenticeships or work experience that can be transferred, etc.?
This is a very, very
taboo,
controversial this topic is. But personally for me, and I know if my parents ever watch this video, they will not be happy with this advice, but I would say take your time. If I had the option, I didn't have an option. I had to go to university. I'm from a traditional background, whereas, you finish school, you go straight to college. You finish college, you go straight to university. That's how it is in my household. There's no if, no buts, no maybes. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So my parents will not agree with what I'm saying, but for me and how I would raise my kids is don't take your time when it comes to university. You're getting yourself into debt. It's not like America where they have like the scholarships and
they still have debts. Like the other day, like when I went to my cousin's graduation, so one of my cousins graduated from Princeton. Princeton is renowned to be one of the institutions that hasn't inflated their like tuition as much, but it is $65,000 a year.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, education in
But
the
I
US
think
is
a lot of, I don't know, I hear
outrage.
stories. There's opportunity
There
for
are a lot more
scholarships, yeah, than
opportunities.
here in the
Yeah,
UK, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Um, so you are getting into debt, and
Debt, serious debt.
that's what our parents don't realize. You're getting yourself into debt. A lot of us that graduated that are making a decent amount. Let's just say, okay, a lot of us that's making a decent salary
Yeah,
are getting a huge chunk of that student finance out of our paycheck. If, of course, you didn't pay, I didn't pay for my student loans
yeah.
up front, so I'm in debt right now. So
Sorry, I'm
I
thinking
just
about what you
think
said last time about how you've been repaying, but the interest.
the interest is like just racking up.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm so sorry.
I graduated from uni 8 years ago. I feel old saying this. I graduated from uni 8 years ago, and I remember logging into my student finance account, and my debt was 39K. I logged into my student finance account, I think maybe a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago. I'm on 49K.
I'm not laughing at
Like, no,
reality.
it's a joke.
Yeah, it's
That's
wild.
so just, and sorry, this is, my parents aren't paying this. This is, I'm paying this. I'm paying this. So what the advice I'll give my kids, and this is also for the younger generation, if you do have an option, if you can, and if you're unsure of anything, or if there's another particular route that you could go, definitely explore that route. There's no rush to get into university. University is open to all ages. All ages. You can be 50 and going to university.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not saying that. There's nothing wrong with anyone doing that. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't need to rush to go into university.
Yeah.
That's the advice I would give my younger self. I didn't have a choice. I had to go whether I liked it or not. But if I had the choice and I knew I wanted to do HR, 18-year-old me would do a CIPD, a level 3 CIPD course, would have paid for it, then do my level 5 CIPD course and paid for that. All in total would have been less than 8K.
Yeah.
Would you not rather that than be on like 49K debt, which it keeps accumulating?
Exactly.
So it's just, if you weigh out the options, because regardless, my employers, every company that I've worked at up until now, they've never asked about I've never had to go and present my degree.
Wow. Okay.
I've always had to present my CIPD qualification. I mean, having a degree is great, is good. It does give maybe a few bonus points. But ultimately, especially as a HR professional, they are looking at the CIPD level 5. Some of them level 3, more of entry roles. Some of them ask for level 3. So when I say entry roles, that's more HR administrators, HR assistants, etc. Those are more the entry level roles where you could, you need a level 3. But any, more senior roles, like I'm a regional HR advisor, I need a CIPD level 5. Now, if you're talking about going even higher, HR business partner or anything like that, or HR, some companies, they like their HR managers to have a level 7 CIPD course. I've seen employers though be more open to paying for it because that's someone going into management. So more employers are more open to paying for it, and maybe that's the route I want to go. Get my employer to pay for it.
Which then would be, that's the follow-up question that I have for you. But actually, before that, like, I resonate with what you said. I think I come from a very traditional background as well. I think I'm still very pro academia and going to university, especially because, like, as you said, you have a degree. Certain fields you definitely need a degree for.
Absolutely.
But also, I feel like university does teach you certain life skills, etc., that potentially you may not have elsewhere. But I also resonate with the argument about, going another route, not having to start off, professional life in debt. And also, I know some people who didn't go to university and they're making more money than some of us who did go to university. So it's very difficult. So I resonate with that. But I guess so my next question would be, in terms of advice for anyone watching out there, and even for yourself, what you've spoken about, what would you say one should do if they want to work within a workplace that will potentially sponsor the qualification? So there's CIPD level 5 or whatever else. So someone who's, for example, going into a company, what steps should they take to ensure that that company would potentially sponsor them getting that?
Okay, one advice I'll give myself,
Mm-hmm.
looking back, is ask your employer. Just simply ask. If it's in budget, they will do it. They're investing in you.
Right.
If it's in budget, most of them will do it. I would say I wasn't bold enough to ask.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I was in smaller companies anyway, so it's unlikely that they would have paid for it.
Yeah.
But the company I was at previously, where I started off as a HR coordinator, then I was promoted to a senior HR coordinator. Absolutely, if I spoke to one of the managers there, I was already doing my CIPD at that time.
Yeah.
But my old boss, he was ready to pay for my level 7.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's just because I didn't want to do it at that time. I just completed my CIPD level 5.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do my level 7, but he was prepared to pay for it. So the point I'm trying to say is, just
if you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. A lot of employers are prepared to do it if, of course, it's within budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the advice I would give.
Because you're effectively preserving talent.
Exactly.
And investing back into your company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, another thing. Sorry. Sorry. Another thing I would say is make yourself seen as well. I'd say that if there's a group of 10 people and they need to train maybe 3 of you guys, they will probably choose one of the people that are seen the most. Make yourself seen in the workplace.
Okay.
That's one of the things that I would say. Because if 10 people, all of you guys want to do the same course and it's not within budget, that will it happened to it happened to someone I know. So if you make yourself seen, that's also something I would recommend.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So many industries are competitive, as you know, as is the job market. So what strategies helped you to stand out and to secure your first major opportunity?
One thing is that a lot of people sleep on is networking. Networking is so important. And I say that because that's how I got one of my jobs, through networking. And also how you carry yourself in the workplace as well. Someone that you might say good morning to in the kitchen might be your next boss in your next organization. That's just to say how I don't want to say small the working world is, because it's not small, it's big. But the point I'm trying,
seed can have a major impact. Yeah,
just what you said. That little seed can have a major impact. So I was working at an organization as a recruitment administrator, and I was doing a lot of things. I made myself seen and stuff. The only thing is that role, it didn't offer much progression, so there was nowhere really I could go. I was looking to leave, but I think at that time, if I remember correctly, COVID then started to come. I think it was just risky to apply for another role, go to another role. It was too risky. But I was doing a really good job. I was excelling in that role. I got pay rises. And when I say pay rises, it was a recruitment administrator role. So a bit of chicken change, but that chicken change. I mean, I was 23 at that time. So that chicken change was money at that time. Yeah. But now looking back, I just laugh. But I was doing really well. My director, he really loved me. COVID came, and my role was made redundant. Because it was a small organization, we had a HR professional come in, and a lot of companies do this, an outsourced HR company. So a lot of smaller companies do it. If there's maybe 30 of them, they'll have an outsourced HR company that comes in and does all their HR, disciplinaries, grievances, etc. So I was that admin person that I would work really closely with her. So I had a good relationship with her. I had a good relationship with my director at that time. And then unfortunately, COVID came. He had to make my role redundant. And one of the things he said was, I really don't want to get rid of Izabel. I don't want to get rid of her, because not only was I good at my job, I was like really good person. I had a great personality. I got along with everyone. So he said, I really don't want to get rid of her, but he had to get rid of me. And then, so the HR, outsourced HR person was like, oh, actually, I have a client that wants to get rid of the outsourced HR, and they want an internal HR person to come in. Isabel's doing, at that time I was doing my CIPD, and she said Isabel's doing her CIPD, she'll make a great fit for this role. So this job was not advertised. It wasn't on Indeed. It wasn't on LinkedIn. It wasn't any. It was simply word of mouth. She just called me one day and she said, "Look, there's this role." She explained to me the details, etc. And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I would like to be put forward." She put me forward to that role. They interviewed me, and they loved me. They loved me. I got the job, and I still talk to. I'm not there now, but I still talk to my colleagues, the director of the business. I still talk to them to this day, but I think that probably that's the best place I work. There was even at my wedding. That was at my wedding. Yeah, so I just like that they became family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one big thing that people miss out on is networking. And when I say networking, it doesn't mean that you have to be going to networking events, and which is good, but there's different ways that you can network. Right now, even us talking like this, someone can find our video online and say, "Oh, I like what Alexia's doing. I want someone like this in my organization." Or, "I like this HR professional. I like this HR professional. I want her." Make yourself seen.
Absolutely.
Other ways to network. LinkedIn is a powerful tool. I don't use it much because I don't use it much because I don't really want to.
That's shocking from you.
No, I know.
You should be maximizing it.
I just, do you know what? I just don't. I'm not really a social media. Yeah, I'm not really. My presence on social media is not really there. Like, that's across all boards. That's on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. It's not really there. Yeah, that's why. But I see a lot of people using LinkedIn, and it's a powerful tool. Headhunt, exactly. A lot of people use it. Yeah. Which I would definitely recommend. Of course, you also have your job boards and stuff, but you can apply on Indeed. You can apply. That's great. But to make yourself seen, you need to step out of your comfort zone. I think I'm at the place I am in my career. I'm quite content for the next few years. Right. That's why I'm not probably moving around. But if I wanted to now look for other roles, I probably will be using my LinkedIn as a tool to make myself seen and known.
I love that. Honestly, I agree with that. And I think, even like Eventbrite, etc. Networking events, I actually really enjoy them. I think, as you said, it pushes you out of your comfort zone. And I think that even for people to not necessarily view things as like something that's transactional or like I'm going to get a job, but even connecting with people, throughout like the graduate series, learning about all of you guys' like different industries has just been so interesting. I think, it's really good. But I'm going to throw a question that you weren't ready for.
Of course.
That is just because you made a really good point about like your old colleagues being almost like family and being at your wedding, etc. And I think that the people you work with are probably the people that you spend the most time with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you have people who, for example, say be very cautious with the connections that you make, that your colleagues are not your friends. And then you have some people who are like, well, I've made great friends. How would you say someone should go about finding a balance between the two? And also, just not being so quick to mix personal with what is professional and could have ramifications.
I love that question, actually, because I think with my role, professional boundaries is important. You want to go out for workplace gatherings and all of that stuff. Of course, we all want that. But there were times where I would go to these things, but I had to draw a line. Yeah. I remember once when I first got into when I first got into HR, one of my colleagues, we were really good friends. Yeah. Not when I say friends, I don't mean friends, but I mean like good work colleagues, acquaintance. Yeah. But we was out on the night out, drinking. I don't drink alcohol. They were drinking. I was just there. Out on a night out. Those like work socials. Yeah. It was one of those. And then she goes, "Oh, what salary is so and so on?" I thought, do you not respect my role? Like, how can you just ask? How can you? And then that's when I realized I can't be too friendly with people, because why I thought that is because you wouldn't just go, for example, I wouldn't just go ask a HR professional, what salary is this person? You must not respect me for you to ask that. So that's when I realized, exactly. That's when I realized, no, I can't be too, hee hee ha ha with certain people. There always needs to be boundaries. Yes, you can joke around, but that professional boundary as a HR professional needs to stand, and people need to know that even certain jokes cannot happen.
Absolutely.
You cannot HR cannot walk into the room and you're making certain jokes so lightly. I'm not saying you should tread around, but the point I'm trying to make is you should know that these people are not your friends at all. And HR, I know I'm kind of diverting from the question a little bit, but HR serves the company. They don't serve the employee. They're not for the employee. We're trying to keep the company not go to tribunal. We serve the company. There's a saying in like the HR world, like HR is like a slave to the company. I have no loyalty to you as an employee. My loyalty is to the employer. That makes sense. But
that makes a lot of sense, because I'm a line manager now, and I've definitely had certain circumstances where I'm like, okay, HR is very risk averse to protect the reputation of the organization. But where does that leave me? Because then who is upholding my well-being and welfare? And it's not to say that, like, for example, if I was to go off sick because of that circumstance, then it would be different for my manager handling that. But sometimes, that thin line between, okay, you're being extremely risk averse, but it's having an impact on then me, because I wish you would advocate for me a little bit more. And obviously it's hard because 2 employees are obviously within that organization, but it's like,
okay,
managers go through a lot.
This is what I do, and this is what I've been advised to do from my HR mentor. So the lady that got me into my first, she's my HR mentor. So she advised me this first, and then with the organization that I'm with now, they advised me the same thing. Right. If you give a manager advice, they take it or they leave it. Right. You advise them to take HR advice. If they don't, that's no longer, they can deal with it. But that's when I, take myself out and I say, that's when I escalate the matter, and get someone else to manage that. And I say that to say, because the thing is, like you said, we're very risk averse. We're not. I think some people think that HR is out to get them and HR is the enemy. No, we're not. We care about employee well-being. We care about employees. But when I say that we also do serve the company, it just means we don't want the company to get in trouble. Or, employment tribunals and all that messy stuff. We want to keep it. We don't want any of that. It's bad for the company, bad reputation, even employee morale, all of that. So we don't want, we try and avoid it as best as we can. So so you're a line manager, if you come to me and you speak to me about an employee and I give you advice, I'm going to give you advice that's in line with our policies. Exactly. Everything that HR does is based on what's already on the policy. We're just giving that advice. You might not know what the policy is, so I might just direct you to that policy, tell you what you need to do, spoon feed you the steps, etc. Now, you as a line manager, and I have a lot of line managers do this, say, I don't want to do that. I just want to sack the person.
Oh, we don't do that.
No, seriously. I have a line manager say, no, I don't want to do that. This person's been absent for far too long. I just want to do it that way. You can do it your way. But I've advised you to do it this way. If you want to do it your way, do it. But I'm no longer in this equation. So that's when I would escalate it to, in my case, I would escalate it to a HR business partner. I report to a HR business partner at the moment. The HR business partner will then take over and assess what's going on there, and if there's anything they need to do, etc. However, ultimately it's the manager's decision. If they decide, look, because HR, we're not managers, we're not people managers. Absolutely. Unless you have, of course, your own team, a HR advisor might have HR assistants working under them. In my case, I don't. So I'm not a people manager. I'm not here to manage your staff for you. I'm here to advise you as a line manager. You're managing your staff. But if you don't want to take my advice, I can't now force you to do it. I'm just going to tell you how to do the right thing and how to save ourselves in the long run.
It's just so hard. I feel like we digressed. So let me just
Oh yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it's true because it's like sometimes certain things are not in the guidance, for example. And also, my thing is sometimes there's a domino effect. If you have a difficult member of staff that you're trying to manage, and then HR is risk averse, so they give you the guidance. It's not there in the guidance either. So they can just tell you, well, try this, try that. You've tried everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I wouldn't recommend. So then you then don't go with what they've recommended, but it's caused you so much anxiety and stress, etc., that then you go off. That's two team people being off. Then your manager has to deal with that. They have like an overload, obviously, of pressure, etc., as a result to this. So then that domino effect. So then I'm like, then there's no resolution.
Exactly.
But not everything is in the guidance.
Exactly. So I'm dealing with a case right now without speaking too much on the case.
Yeah.
This employee, let's just say they haven't been at work since November. There's a lot of, I just don't want to say anything online. There's a lot of ins and outs in this case. But yeah, one of the reasons why is because number one, the manager doesn't want to do things according exactly. Right, okay. Yeah. So now that's, you know, the employee hasn't been at work. This is not an absence, by the way, where the employee's sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to say anything online because that's But yeah, this is
so much that comes into it, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what was the question again? I think
we really diverse it.
Yeah.
But I think my question was about like boundaries.
Boundaries.
The importance of
That's
boundaries
it. Exactly.
with who you work with. I think that's something that recently my mom as well said. You know, most people tend to then officially become friends. Your friendship is really tested when you leave a workplace. Were you actually friends?
Okay, do you know what? Also, another thing is when you join an organization from the bottom, let's say you join an organization as an administrator,
right?
And then you was an administrator for 2 years, and then you got promoted to an operations manager, and you now have people working under you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that's going to undermine you because they've seen you from the bottom going up.
Especially if you work all together or even
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in cases like that, is you need to remain firm.
Yeah.
And that's because I've seen some people, they then become, and it's not their fault.
Yeah.
They become not bullies, but more assertive in how they do things, but not assertive, because assertive can be seen as a good thing or a bad thing. It just depends on how you know how you, the kind of person you are. But I've seen people be so assertive in a mean way where a lot of people don't like them anymore.
Yeah.
But I'd say be assertive, but in a kind way. Make changes, but changes to your team, positive changes to your team. Don't make changes where it's going to negatively impact the employees.
Right.
Because then people starts to rub people the wrong way, and people start saying, "Oh, because you're a line manager, you're a manager now." Blah blah blah. I've heard it all before, honestly. But yeah, I think when it comes to professional boundaries in a setting like that, if I'm honest, sometimes there's no escaping, you know. Absolutely. Unless you are like very assertive in a good way, where you're likable, it's really hard because it's 50-50. Yeah. Some people might not like you because of that management, and you used to be my colleague, and now you're telling me to deliver your reports by Wednesday. Who do you think you are? Absolutely. That's how people see it. So sometimes it's best you just leave the company. I'm not gonna lie, honestly, like progress really somewhere else. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, great. So now let's talk about your current career. So I've got a couple questions. So the first one is, what does a typical day look like for you?
To be on,
So we've spoken about early career path. We've gone over to Kilimanjaro. We've come back to the UK. Let's right. I promise I'll be focused. So let's talk about your current career. What does a typical day look like for you?
Honestly, every day is different. Every day is different. Today I could be dealing with an employee relations case. Tomorrow I can be dealing with like training, for example. Today I've got today and tomorrow I'm delivering training on investigations. Next week I might just be doing general admin as in, updating cases and, all of that stuff. Another week I can be doing interviews, recruitment, talent onboarding, etc. Every day is different. I can't pin it down to, as just, there's some people where their role is structured where in 9 a.m. I do this, at 10 o'clock I attend meetings. There's some days where I have meetings all day and I don't even have time for myself or to crack on with my own things. So yeah, everything is different.
But is that an aspect of your role that you like? Just how diversified?
Yeah, because I think at my previous role, one of the reasons why I decided to leave is I think because it was there was no more progressing as well. Obviously, I loved that. I did love the company. There was just no way. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, I did genuinely. I really that's the best company I ever worked for. I think it was
I'm joking.
No, but there was just nowhere else for me to progress, and the role got very, very, very repetitive and boring. And if I'm honest, I have iron deficiency. Whew. On a Tuesday afternoon after lunch, I'll be falling asleep. Because it became so repetitive. It became exactly, and also exactly, not it wasn't challenging. It got to a point where sometimes it got so the role was so routine that I can come in at 9 a.m. by 11 o'clock I'm done. And I'm just
such an expert at
exactly, and I was planning my wedding on my desk. I'm not even joking. Like I was planning. I think they started to. I don't want to talk too much because you don't know where this video will go. But I'm not saying that I was so good at my job that it just. I got so I got so adapted to the routine that I could do the job in 2 hours. Sometimes, in some cases, I can do the role in 3 days. The role. I can do the job in 3 days and Thursday and Friday. Just have 2 days. One of the things, though, actually, I just knew the last week of the month was payroll week. Yeah, you remember? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that week was stressful. So stressful. But apart from that, I think that was the only maybe stimulating thing that I'll kind of get my hands on and stuff. Apart from that, everything else, and I think.
And they usually say when you get to that stage, then
it's time. It's time to really it's time to leave.
Unless you're someone who is happy with that.
Exactly. Look, let's be clear. Not everyone wants to be an executive or a director. Or not. If some people are just happy with their admin jobs, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because you get to perfect it as you
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then, how do you think your role influences company culture and employee experience?
I think especially lately, we've been, I think the last, I'd say 4 years, a lot of organizations have been driven on this employee well-being and which is great. I absolutely love it.
Are you sure?
I love it. No, I think my role, it does. I think we do promote employee well-being, especially with the a lot of organizations have this, you must know what it is, employee assistance program, EAP, as some people call it. But yeah, we promote EAS. Oh, what does the S stand for? Probably support. So I think we promote employee well-being, a balanced work life, especially the organization I'm in now, balanced work-life balance, which I think in recent years studies has shown that it does promote productivity at work. So I think HR we play absolutely massive role in that.
No problem. Okay. So next question for you is, with rapid workplace changes such as remote work, advanced technology and AI, diversity initiatives and all of that, how do you see the role of HR evolving in the next few years?
So, as I told you earlier, I done a ChatGPT course. What was it called? Sorry. ChatGPT Risk for HR Professionals. So this is a risk that we are going to see within the next 5 years, some of which has already started. I think a lot of us are seeing the rise of AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, all those, everything that kind of falls into that bracket. So a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people are relying on ChatGPT, which you shouldn't. Slap yourself in the wrist if you are. You should, especially as a HR professional, you really shouldn't be putting people's personal details on the internet. ChatGPT, hey, it's not safe. It's not safe. So yeah, that's one of the things. So that's one of the risks. A lot of people are depending so much on this platform. Some people are drafting offer letters on. They're not in my organization. We have templates to do that. There's no need. But I've seen, because I attended this seminar, MBL seminars. I saw some people writing on the chat box. Oh, I use it to write my policies, write offer letters. To write an offer letter, you need to put an employee's name, address, salary. Do you know how much personal information you're putting there? You don't know where that information is going.
What about if it's for just a template?
Oh, if it's just a template, that's fine. Okay. So, example, please give me a template offer letter.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
But when it now goes, you're writing the organization, you're writing the salary. That is dangerous, and I've seen a lot of not anyone that works with me, but externally, a lot of HR professionals putting in personal details, putting in details of disciplinaries. All of that is dangerous. Like, please, like, if you are a HR professional watching this, please don't do that. I get it. Sometimes ChatGPT can be like very convenient. I use it myself when it's fine.
Right balance.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't.
Whereas a lot of people are kind of relying on that to think for them.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a high risk. And what else? Sorry, what else do they teach us? In the next 5 years, a lot of the HR roles will not be available. So if you are a HR professional, please start looking at how to advance in your career. You need to make yourself seen. What can I do that you can't do? Exactly. What can I bring to the table that you can't bring to the table? It's not a race, but you need to make yourself shine if you want to. In 5 years' time, data entry roles, these HR admin roles where you're just entering data, is going to be non-existent. These if you are a HR professional, you might or might not know already, but there's softwares where it is doing recruitment for you. It's shortlisting people for you. There was actually a company that went to court actually, but that I'll send it to you, or I'll put it in the comments for people to read. But a company went to court because they was using this AI software to shortlist their candidates. So then one of the candidates got hold of this information, and he thought, well, hang on a minute, I'm being discriminated against. I have all the skills. How did you not eliminate me from the process?
I wonder if they would have done that if they didn't get eliminated.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? If the person did have a leg to stand on, reading into the case, the person did have a leg to stand on. And anyway, this company found out that this software was faulty because it's not, I don't want to say faulty, cut that bit out. Sorry, not faulty, biased.
Right.
It's biased in how it shortlists candidates.
Okay.
Yeah, I will link it on the description so people can have a read through. Yeah. So, yeah, I think in the next 5 years, you really upskill yourself, learn new things, read.
You know, I really love what you said. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my pastor in my church, the Liberty Church.
Whoop, whoop.
Pastor Dr. Shola Folalade. But no, because on Sunday he was talking about eras, seasons, and dispensations. He was basically talking about how people should really pay attention to the era they're in, the season they're in, and dispensations, and see, for example, what gap there is. Or, for example, how do you arise into a new position,
exactly.
etc. And I feel like that aligns with what you said. Don't just be idle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, realize the times that we're in, how things are changing. How does that impact you? What can you be doing to be prepared, as opposed to just waiting, and then when, I don't want to say disaster or calamity strikes, but it's more so like when that role, for example, becomes
redundant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What will you do? How could you have prepared yourself?
Yeah.
So I really love what you said. There's so many good points that you dropped today. the recommendation referral, the boundaries, now actually upskilling yourself, etc. So you'll be happy to know we're almost at the end. It's been nice having you. But I know that my sister's time is. Okay, so what is one piece of career advice that you ignored at first but later found incredibly valuable?
So I would say, I think earlier in my career, I wasn't reading a lot. I love to read, by the way. I read a lot of storybooks, etc. Non-fiction, fiction. But when I say read, I mean employment law, etc. So what I was depending on is if you are CIPD accredited, every month you should get a monthly newsletter. And in that newsletter is, hot topics and what's going on in the HR world, what employment tribunal cases are trending, etc. And I almost used to sort of depend on that. And I think as of recent years, maybe the last 4 years, I've been reading more into employment cases, etc. And I think why it is beneficial is because I don't want to make the same mistakes some of these people are making. Some of these cases that end up in employment tribunal can be avoided by the HR advisor, HR professional, from the manager, so by so many people. And that's not to say, oh, I'm a perfect HR professional. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. My manager makes mistakes. My colleagues make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. However, reading into these cases, sometimes it helps me. Exactly. And I think it definitely helps me a lot, especially now, because the kind of cases that I deal with sometimes, it's quite it's quite intense, I'll say. Yeah, so because I read a lot of, by the way, if you was ever interested in reading any cases online, they are made public. So the organization I work for right now is quite known. So I don't even want to make a mistake. Like, that's how I think, because already the kind of organization it is, if something was to, happen, they will receive so much scrutiny from people. So already so I don't want to make a mistake. I already have that at the back of my mind. But just reading into these and just making sure that I don't make the same mistakes. And not even that, it's also learning as well. Learning, you can learn from other people. Learning, you don't just learn from what you do. I've learned so much from reading these cases and thinking, oh, actually, I would have done this differently, but I like how this person handled it. I might even adapt that. Employment law as well. Employment law regularly changes, and it's important to be up to date. I know sometimes just knowing about a policy that's changed. I'm not saying you need to know it inside out, because realistic, we're not books. We won't know that. It's unlikely that a normal HR professional walking around would know every policy inside and out. But familiarize yourself with it. Right now, hot topic right now is the neonatal care. I don't know if your organization's been talking about it now, but that's quite new. I think that law was updated in April. So that, again, like, I've been reading about it over and over, just to make sure that I'm familiarized with the whole policy, etc. But whereas 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't do it. I'll do it when maybe a situation arises. But I think now, just reading more into these policies and employment laws and going into online cases, I think it definitely, it's definitely helped shape me. And I feel more mature in my career than I was 4 years ago. I mean, I get now I'm older, I have more experience now, but I think even learning from other people's experiences as well has made me feel more mature and, settled. Yeah, not settled, but more mature in my career.
No, I really like that. Just the continuous learning. And also, like, obviously, there's so many different ways to read these days. So even podcasts, audio
absolutely,
books, yeah.
Also, another thing as well. One thing I'm looking to do, I haven't started doing it yet, but I'm looking to start doing it this summer. Just gather a few HR girlfriends and go to employment tribunal cases, because they are public. You can go, if you didn't know, you can go. So you can just go to a courthouse anywhere in London, and just turn up and sit down and like hear these things.
Exactly.
But I think that's quite interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not allowed your phone or anything, so
but it makes like learning / reading more interactive.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I actually watched a TikTok of someone doing that, and I thought, oh, actually, that's another way I can, so you don't have to, if you're not a reader, you don't like reading, you can go to one of these things and just listen in and hear. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Also, before we kind of wrap up, I did have a question in respect to you being a HR professional. At the minute you're in the non-profit sector, but you've moved over from the private sector, right?
Yep.
So what was that transition like, and what would be your advice for anyone out there trying to make the switch either to private or away from private?
I would say, to be honest,
is there a difference?
There's not really a difference. I thought that walking into that organization I am at now, I wouldn't have problems.
Okay.
I have problems more than what I even had before.
Yeah.
There's no difference at all. I think the only difference is maybe sometimes we have volunteers, but that's not HR because they're not employees.
Yeah.
So we don't really deal with them really and truly. So there's no difference. It's just like it's just like a normal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, no problem. Right. So my last question for you is: if HR had an anonymous confessions box, what's one wild or ridiculous workplace request you've heard that still makes you laugh and would be in that box?
Oh, this one made me laugh. It came a few months ago. I received a whole paragraph of I received an email, a whole paragraph of an employee telling me that they haven't received a pay rise since 2017. I've only been at the organization for less than 2 years. Why are you emailing me and telling? I don't have anything to do with it. But he has. It's just the cost of living increases.
Yeah.
That's the ones that he had. He was talking about the performance increase. Okay. He hasn't had one since 2017. Has it not crossed your mind that maybe you're not performing well?
Let's start there.
First and foremost, has it not crossed your mind? But it did make me laugh.
Would they go to their manager first?
You go to your manager. What's my business? I don't have no. I just forwarded it to the manager and I said, for your information, there was nothing I can say. But it did make me laugh. I just read the email. I just laughed. And you can tell the email, ChatGPT wrote that email. Again, ChatGPT instigates. Yeah. They love to instigate employees. They're using ChatGPT and they make it sound all professional and intimidating. Like the email, very intimidating. Yeah. As per, this and that, making it very professional and just, I know you didn't write that. ChatGPT wrote that for you.
I actually saw a really interesting thread the other day about like people. The wildest things they've used ChatGPT for. And one of them was like, I used ChatGPT to help me write a letter to hire me, but also used it to help take ChatGPT to tribunal or something like that. I was like, who has time for this?
Okay, can I just say something? I saw a video online where the man said, I used ChatGPT for some employment law or something like that. Not employment law, sorry, a law, and the law was referenced wrong. And it took me back to a point in time when I used ChatGPT. I can't remember what I was doing. I must have been writing a letter. This was for work. Yeah. I was writing a letter for a specific, I can't remember what the situation was, but I said, let's just in this instance, let's say the 1st of July is a Wednesday. And I said, please write a letter, from the 1st of July, blah. And then it responded, it wrote down the letter. It was all perfect, but then it said Saturday, 1st of July. And I looked at my calendar and I was like, wait, did I not look at the day wrong? What day is it? And I looked and it said Wednesday. Did I say Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Whatever day I said it said Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Okay, what does it mean Saturday? I told that robot off. I said you got it wrong.
One of the people wasted ChatGPT's money.
And then
you say thank you.
ChatGPT apologized. But then that's when I realized that like you can't be. You really need to double check like all the information. You can't use that information and just use it as final. Exactly. Maybe use it as guidance or a template-ish, and then, you know, add your own flavor to it. But don't use it, copy and paste it, and you know. And oh, another thing, sorry, I want to add, recruiters do know when you're using ChatGPT. You can copy and paste the whole thing and put it onto a software where there's like formulas, where you can see the formula that someone's used ChatGPT. Also, there's certain punctuation that ChatGPT use. The dash, is it apostrophe? No, what is the dash? Hyphen. That's it. ChatGPT, if you've noticed, they use a lot of hyphens. That's so interesting. But yeah, definitely that code thing, because I actually noticed someone using ChatGPT in their cover letter. I'd literally just copied it. And that was me, I was clowning, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I was clowning. I wasn't gonna shortlist this person, but I just thought, let me just see. And I copied and pasted it onto the software, and I saw all the codes, and I was like, oh well, you know, that's just for everyone to know that please use it. I'm not saying use it smartly, that's what I'm saying. And I think a lot of employers as well know that we're in an era where work smart, but don't make it your be all. Don't make it your be all. Work smart, but don't make it your because I do love me my ChatGPT. Oh yeah. You have to just use it smartly. Don't use it, and do not put personal details. Don't use it for don't make it do your work for you. Add your own flavor. Just work smart with it. Exactly. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for your time today, for all the gems of wisdom that you Thank you for having me. Yeah, and if you guys loved the video, which I hope you did, I learned a lot, then please just give it a like, a thumbs up. Also comment, let's engage. Go back to the old videos, comment, just let me know what you think, who else you want to see next, etc. And I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye. Oh wait, don't say bye yet. So I have a little something for my friend. I know she likes flowers. I especially bought this for you. Thank you. This is just to say that and I didn't see her before. So I just bought it. This is just to say, I see what you're doing online. I'm proud of you. Well done. You are encouraging our younger generations, and continue doing what you're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing all the videos. I'm not gonna share. Oh, bless you. Oh, love you. Love you. All right, guys. See y'all in the next one. Bye.